Hey, welcome to Are You Cirrus, episode 57. Jamie Arnold here, Chief Meteorologist, WMBF News.
Andrew Dockery, Meteorologist, WMBF News. I was curious if you were going to remember. It's 57.
You told me.
Oh, okay.
I did. That's the only reason why. But yeah, we're here.
We are here. It is, when we're recording this, a beautiful morning.
Man, it's so good. It's so good.
Are we officially like goodbye summer?
In my house, we are.
Okay, same.
Yeah,
same.
yeah. I've got my pumpkins out, lit up my fall candle, Labor Day.
A magical time of year.
Summer in my life is dead.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah, I agree.
I know we have more heat and humidity on the way, but at least in my head and in my house, it is fall.
Yeah, that's a question that's in the suggestion box is about the heat and humidity, so we'll touch on that here in a second. Also, I feel like Labor Day weekend is the good, like, all right, summer, get out of here. We're done.
Done.
Good Labor Day weekend for you?
Yeah, didn't really do much. So it was really nice.
You were down in the South Strand.
I was. Ended up doing a little Sunday fun day down on your side of town.
I like it.
Yeah.
Where all did we go on
I was
the
lost.
South Strand?
I was like, where am I? I don't know what. You know me. I don't get out of my bubble. But yeah, went to Scotty's Beach Bar.
Oh, that's a great place for like drinks.
Neil and Pam's. Ooh. Hey, Lauren, where else did we go Sunday? Scotty's, Neil and Pam's.
As she
Gracious
closes
Pig.
her eyes and thanks.
There was another one in Garden
Two
City.
live bands. Pizza Hyena has live music.
Yeah, across from Malibu in Surfside.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I
Went
don't.
there, and then we ended up somewhere in Garden City.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Drifted with the wind.
Yeah. Started at 3, got home at 9:30. Slept in Labor Day.
Happy Liberty.
Yeah.
Which ended up being, forecast with the showers around. Labor Day was good.
Yeah.
I always enjoy. I know I'm weird. I will love working a holiday.
I don't mind working holidays like that at all.
Yeah. Like, obviously, like Christmas, Thanksgiving, kind of stinks. But a holiday like that, nobody's here.
Nobody's here. It's quiet.
Yeah.
Get out of here in a hurry.
If you need to do something, you could bring, the iPad home
Yeah.
and do it. But, fantastic.
Yeah.
It feels like the days after Christmas when no one cares about.
Right, yeah. You're like,
It's like, well, then we'll start next year in 7 days. That's how that feels.
Yeah.
Hey, for those listening, first off, thanks for tuning in. There's still a couple of people that tell us they've listened to every podcast, which I think that is great.
That's crazy. I haven't listened to every podcast.
Me either. We've missed premieres. I mean, we've been here present.
Yeah.
But let's do something fun. If you're listening and watching, your goal and homework for this week is to share this podcast with 3 people.
I like it.
I think that's doable.
Yeah.
And we'll have to do the same.
We'll do the same.
Just text the link.
Yeah.
Share it to 3 people.
Text it, messenger it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And if they click it, we get a view. And if they don't, well.
I like it.
All right. So speaking of fall like weather, I do want to bring up something real quick, and then we'll touch on what we were going to talk about, which the more I think about it, it's just going to be a lot of rants. Meteorological fall and the typical, what is it, astronomical?
Astronomical. Easy for you to say.
Yeah, that's a tongue twister.
Yeah.
Fall. A lot of people get them confused.
Yeah.
Basically, it's just a way that we like to in the meteorology world, which I prefer personally.
Same, yeah.
We like to basically use it in a grouping of temperatures and how they work.
Yeah.
It's just easier to know that temperatures are following a distinct pattern from this time period. So we're technically already in meteorological fall.
Yeah, meteorological seasons. It goes, fall, September, October, November.
Yeah.
The fall months. Winter, December, January, February.
Easy.
Makes sense.
Easy, right?
Spring, March, April, May. And then summer, June, July, August.
Whereas technically, fall hasn't begun for,
Right.
Everyone else, 17 days. But that's based off the tilt and position of the Earth and
The
how that
astronomical
works.
seasons. Yeah.
So there you go. I've had a couple of people ask that. I was going to throw that in here, but I was like, we're going to talk about fall.
Yeah.
All right. I guess we'll just dive into it. This was kind
Wait,
of.
I'm not ready.
Okay. Uh-oh.
I think we should hit real quick on last week.
Last week, what happened last week?
With our hurricane discussion.
Oh,
what
yes.
the heck is happening
Okay,
with
cool.
hurricane season?
But, come on over.
Now who's the one who's getting coffee delivered?
I thought she texted you too.
Wow, she did. She called me, and I said, no, thank you. I don't want anything. But look at this.
We're talking about
Huh.
Paul.
Yeah, this is Paul, pumpkin spice.
I guess
Hey,
I'm
bye.
not the only diva in the group anymore. Look at Andrew getting his coffee delivered by Jenna. Huh,
I am
interesting.
so basic.
Interesting.
And we're not sponsored yet. However,
Yeah.
if you would like to sponsor the podcast, you can.
We're both basic because I straight up had 2 pumpkin spice lattes Monday.
It just fills the soul,
Yeah.
especially on a cold morning.
Yeah. And fired up my pumpkin spice latte candle.
Ooh,
Yeah.
nice.
Anyway, so last week we were talking about what happened with hurricane season and the craziness.
I'm glad you're bringing this back up. I didn't have it on the list.
So just kind of, hit it real quick.
Yeah.
Colorado State and Dr. Phil Klotzbach
Okay.
issued their sort of 2-week update forecast earlier this week. And kind of going with the trend of where we are now, which is below normal activity in the tropics. And then they actually did a couple of good tweets and actually put out kind of a paper about what's going on with the season. Why is it so slow? Part of it has to do, one of the new things that I didn't really realize were upper level temperatures in the atmosphere. You go about 30,000 feet up, temperatures in the atmosphere are a lot warmer than normal in a normal hurricane season. So you have really warm oceans, really warm upper level temperatures. You don't have as much instability out over the Atlantic. You need cold air above warm air to get nice rising air. So that, a couple other issues. So I thought that was interesting.
I thought it was interesting too when they talked about the temperatures aloft, and it kind of makes sense because when when we were talking about the map, this just shows you that we are not the expert to those.
To that level, yeah.
But when you look at the water temperatures, you're sitting there and you're watching these waves off Africa come and say, something's not adding up.
Yeah.
Yes, Saharan dust, sure. Yeah, they're coming off a different point of Africa, sure. But to think even higher that the warmer, it once again, the atmosphere is a fluid.
Yeah.
I say that religiously, like there's a push and pull, stretch and pull mechanism to it, to where if something's going to happen here, something else is going to give somewhere else.
Yeah.
Same thing happening. I mean, for us, for instance, this week we're talking about a nice, cloudy, cool forecast. Meanwhile, out west, it's like a ridge of high pressure where they're talking 100 degrees.
Yeah.
Once again, it's a give and pull type of scenario when it comes to the weather. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Yeah, Mother Nature always balances out. And they still think, and a lot of people think, and the models still kind of suggest, back half of September.
Yeah.
Still could get kind of busy. We'll see. It also leads to my next point that I was thinking of on the way in this morning. Totally going off whatever you had topic for today, but
This is perfect to go into the topic.
between this hurricane season forecast and the last winter forecast, do we even bother anymore? Does it really matter? Does it really matter? Because that's 2 that have busted
Yeah.
big. I'm not saying the hurricane season's busted. It's not over with yet, but it's certainly not what was expected up until this point. Last winter was supposed to be, at least locally for us, cold and wet. Wasn't that?
Yeah.
Wasn't that? Hurricane season was supposed to be crazy. So far, not so much. Do we even bother with it anymore? Do you and I?
No. Yeah, I totally
This
get where
part
you're
of the
going.
business, do we even bother? Is it something? I don't know. Let us know. Do you care? Do you want to know?
Yeah, I like that.
You wanna know about
I
it?
like that.
You know? I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, we will always know.
Yeah.
But kind of to the point that I brought up last week with, May and June and April, when we're releasing these numbers and getting people prepped for the season, we're sitting here in September now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we had Debbie for rain, but
Still kind of twiddling our thumbs.
I still worry about, and I've talked about this before with many people, like we put such a big emphasis, I feel like, at the wrong time of the year. When it really matters is obviously now,
Yeah.
and the emphasis is already kind of set sail, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So, I don't know. I kind of like not worrying about it.
Yeah.
But that also comes into what we could talk about today is we live in such a I want it type of culture.
Yep.
that if we don't do it, I'm afraid since this is a business, they're going to go somewhere else that has it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tough part. So maybe we do some caveats to where we still show it, but then also like, hey, but listen.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's really good point to bring up.
Yeah.
Which brings me into the communicating of the forecasts and outlooks in general. Communicating in weather.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I feel like it's gotten a lot harder. And I don't know if that's because the public would love you all. I don't know if that's because of national media.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's because of the culture of we want everything now.
Mm-hmm.
Or if that's just because of the TV business.
I think it's all of it. I really do. I think it's all of it.
Like, the days of, you used to go up and say 20% chance of rain.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of where all this ties in.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can't even say that without upsetting somebody,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So I bring all that up to say when it comes to communicating the forecast, as far as a whole, we don't have to talk about us. Now let's talk about us real quick.
Okay.
What are some of your favorite things when it comes to communicating the forecast? Like, hey, I like to lean this way. I like to say this. I try to avoid doing this.
Oh, that's
What are
good.
some things? Because I think that is where, I like that. However, I don't like when other people do this.
Ooh, I don't know.
Because I think the communicating that we give is what dictates and determines a lot of this. Obviously, not always us. The also retrospect to this, and we'll get to it, is you and I could say one thing, and then they can read it somewhere else,
Yeah.
and then point it back to us.
That's
the issue, I think.
that is what gets complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Because things show up on social media, things show up especially on national level media.
Yeah. Big time.
Which tends to,
Big time.
go big on things that aren't necessarily that big.
Bombogenesis.
But it kind of snowballs, and then we kind of have to clean up the mess.
There's some days I feel like I'm a janitor and not a meteorologist when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, just clean. Yeah, sort of addressing things that are going on that are noteworthy, but it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think what I would do too is if you're listening to this podcast or watching us right now, and there's something you've always had a question about, because this is where it helps me. Like, for instance, and I'll bring up the whole 7-day thing. It helps us know, like, when you have a question about something that we say, that either A, we need to not dumb it down, but we need to explain that more or think about how we communicate. So, for instance, poor Maddie B, I feel like we've tried to cover it so many ways. Percentages of rain. We're going to go right back to it.
Yeah.
We've made a change on our 7-day forecast, and maybe this is where the whole thing lines up, is we just need to be a little bit more innovative and thoughtful.
Yeah.
We don't show percentage of rain anymore on the 7-day
we started
forecast.
2 weeks ago. If
you
loyal
notice,
viewers have noticed, there's at least on the 7-day. Now, I
Yeah.
still occasionally sprinkle them
Agree.
in because I
Same.
think there are some people who are number people
I agree.
and need it. So I sort of switch back and forth, but sort of the 7-day, which is the holy grail of our sort of 3-minute weathercast. That's kind of what everybody wants. That's where you wrap it all up, put a bow on it, and give it to you. We're no longer showing percentages, using words instead. I'm getting used to it.
Me too. At first, I was like, ooh, like especially entering your forecast.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I got to be very careful on how I word stuff.
Yeah.
But it's been easier
Yeah.
now after 2 weeks. And the reason is like, for instance, we had a day, I don't know what day, Mark messaged us, not complaining, but just messaged us like a question, which is totally great. Forecast had a 20% chance of rain. And by the definition of what, probability of percentage or percentage of probability is, like, I don't even know.
Yeah.
I messed it up. Basically, we sat there and there was only one sliver of our viewing area
Yeah.
that got rain.
20% of the, yeah.
That's 20% of the area.
And
That's
it
what we
happened-
forecast.
And it happened to be right over Myrtle Beach.
And there was a lot of people that were like, you missed the forecast. So
Yeah.
I just think there's a new understanding now to where if we don't throw that on, they don't look at the number and they say, oh, that says isolated. That
Yeah.
says scattered. Okay, there's going to be a few storms today.
Specificity through vagueness.
Correct. And I think we also have to be careful about like not being too vague at times, but I
Yeah.
think that's the perfect
Yeah. Yeah.
meet in the middle
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Isolated.
It's so much easier to me.
So much easier.
Or change it stray shower.
Stray shower. Yeah. Pop-up shower.
Few storms.
Yeah.
Numerous has been on there, which I kind of like. At first, I was
I kind of like. I
eh.
don't like. I think it works in the summer. I don't know how it's going to work in the winter.
I don't either.
I think in the winter, other word is soaking rain, cold rain,
Yeah,
wash
that'll
out.
be good. That'll be good.
Wash
out.
Nasty day.
Likely for me, I feel like it will work occasionally, and then I also think we can use that to do like timing, afternoon showers.
Yeah.
Evening shower, and we don't even have a percentage on it. It's
Yeah.
funny because I found another station in Lexington. Shout out to KYT. They don't do percents. So there's a lot of stations. I think because of this communication with weather, that are changing it.
And here's something kind of fun. It was the day that Mark messaged us. Mark, our loyal Are You Cirrus viewer,
Yeah.
about that storm on the day when we had a 20% chance. Our boss came into the office. It was dumping here at the station.
I heard about it from other people in this newsroom.
It was dumping
Yeah.
here at the station. And he said, and even our boss said, didn't know this was going to happen. I was like, well, we had a 20% chance in the forecast. And that opened up a discussion, he and I kind of going back and forth. And then I just kind of haphazardly said, well, why don't we just take percentages out? And he said, start tomorrow.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it.
So we did.
I love it.
Look at us literally innovating the field of weather.
I hope more people do it, personally.
Yeah.
The only time I think chance matters when it comes to the weather is obviously like hourly,
Yeah.
and then the tropics.
Yeah.
Other than that,
Yeah.
just tell us how you feel.
Yeah.
What are some things you see people, and we're not going to call people out, so you don't have to name a name. What are some things you see people in the weather field doing or communicating, you think, ineffectively?
Some of the sort of, we call it medium range stuff.
There we go.
Not way long range,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
seasonal. You don't really see a lot of professional meteorologists do this. Some do. You think just think about here in the winter or even now in hurricane season, how many times, even as slow of a season it has been, how many times has the GFS had a hurricane nearby us
Yeah.
in 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I'm not going to show that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk about that. How many times during the winter does the Euro or the GFS or any model for that matter have snow here 10 days out?
Yeah.
Not going to show that. Now, if it looks like something that's sort of a trend and it's a consistent signal in the model, maybe kind of start to mention it. But you can't just throw that 10-day panel from the GFS that shows a hurricane on top of you
Yeah.
and say, oh, got to watch this, because things like that, they get shared. And suddenly, I'm at Walmart. So there's a hurricane coming in 2 weeks?
And that's where it drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Is, you never showed it, and you know what they're talking about because you've seen it. And I think that's the battleground we're in right now. We're also in a battleground, too, when it comes to everyone wants to be first.
And that's a tough competition to be in.
That's a tough.
Because we want to be first.
100%. And I would love to give you the first alert 7 days out. But someday, it's just severe weather, for instance.
Yeah.
How many times have we talked and been like, oh, next Tuesday could be a big day.
Yeah.
And then by Friday,
Nothing.
Yeah. I think we're seeing that more. And I think it's becoming a dangerous game. We're going to go back and look at this 3 years and be like, wow, we called it. But I'm seeing it more, especially even with hurricanes. I saw it this week with that system in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
People showing it in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah.
You know? I don't know.
Yeah. And then it's not necessarily the meteorologist, but, you know, and I've mentioned this on here a couple times, the issues with national media covering
Also,
weather stories.
Can I just say that we got flagged
We got flagged?
on YouTube?
What? Is it what I said? What does that mean?
No. I don't know. Maybe it's not gonna be called flagged. But like when you pull up, I think it's 2 of our episodes. It says this episode talks about climate change. Make sure you look at official sources for so and so. So I think it was last week and then the other week where you rambled. I guess it knows that we talk about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, just so you know, this episode talks about. So, Big Brother is watching. I swear. Let me see.
That is freaky. We're a tiny little podcast in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and Big Brother is watching.
Hold up. Let me make sure.
That's insane.
You keep talking. I just now remembered that when you said that.
That's insane.
Yeah, so.
But it's also kind of exciting.
It is.
I feel like
We made it, Mom.
maybe we're doing something right.
Here it is.
We're
As it
doing
plays
something right.
Some ad with.
Climate change.
I've never seen that on any of our videos until recently.
United Nations. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns. Human activities have been the main driver of climate change. Wrong. Primarily due to the burning of fossil fuels like coal, oil, and gas. Wow.
So.
Wow.
And not to get anywhere on any side of anything, left or right, I'm staying out of that. That's kind of creepy.
That's really creepy.
Like, we're talking about, this wasn't even a crazy one. This was the tropics.
Yeah.
So, just so you, I don't know.
Our podcast comes with a trigger warning. I'm so pumped. I'm so pumped.
We have a little alarm. Hey, what you're about to watch may be sensitive to viewers. Yeah. So go ahead and talk about big media.
Well, now I'm kind of scared now. They're going to be waiting in the parking lot. If I'm not here next week, you know why.
It's going to be like those UNC biology.
Yeah.
Or no, UNC Charlotte biology.
Whoa.
Oh, I noticed that this morning.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. How is that possible? Because someone would have to go, unless there's I don't know. Does it translate our voices now?
Maybe.
Is AI working for?
It has to be.
Either that or somebody reported us.
That's some scary
Which if so,
stuff.
thank you for bringing this to national attention.
Love it. Let's keep ruffling some feathers.
Yeah, so anyways, go back to
so
big
national media covering weather events. I tell you, it's out of control. It is absolutely out of control. You know, summer heat blasts the Northeast. You mean it's 95 in Boston in August? And
I
it's
can
just,
already picture the climate change one underneath this.
and
one.
it's just happens all the time. You know, no matter what it is. You know, coast to coast blizzard. Meanwhile, it snows from like Colorado to Minnesota in January. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah. We went back to this thing about how Mother Nature balances
Yeah.
itself out, right?
Yeah.
We said that earlier.
Yeah.
And like, we know weather happens. That's why
Yeah.
we have jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we just say blizzard?
Yeah. And weather
Or
is going to keep happening.
record
And-
heat.
Yeah, and I always bring this up. If you're kind of a historian sort of person, which I love weather history. Love weather history. You look back at the decades of the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s. If that 3-decade period were to happen now, everybody's head would explode. Because it was so insanely wild
Yeah.
for those 3 decades. I mean, wild weather. From the Dust Bowl to just insane heat waves.
Mm-hmm.
The hurricanes of the 40s and especially the 50s were insane.
How do I say it nicely?
Do it. Get us flagged again.
But I'm just saying how I want to like express it. It feels like for our job, and it wasn't always this way, like it's like someone's holding us back from restraints of doing our job because we're being pulled in either direction. Like, I feel like now you're not going to go tell an engineer what's wrong with the structure of their building.
No.
Right?
Right.
We're not going to go tell a doctor
Yeah.
the diagnosis of the patient.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are we doing? Mm-hmm. What are we doing? Mm-hmm. We have people that like are talking about weather and climate and
Who?
and I feel like we're just sitting ducks like, hey, we're
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I feel about it all. So there's my nice
it's crazy.
way of-
And you know, remember when we had the AMS meeting?
yeah.
And I went on
I
that
do,
rant about my
I do.
carbon footprint to get there.
I do.
You know, there's even pressure from them to cover climate change in your day-to-day weathercasts. No.
If I can tell you, if we can't understand
If we
percent of rain,
Yeah. And look, are there places for education in this business? Absolutely.
Yes.
Do we throw it in occasionally? Yes, when it's something related to here. But at the end of the day, our average viewer wants to know if it's going to rain on Saturday.
the weekend, their plans.
Do I need my coat tomorrow for the kid at the bus stop? And we have 2.5 minutes. I'm not messing with that. I'm here to serve and give you what you want.
Yeah. I like that. That's beautifully put. Impact-based forecasting.
Yeah.
Shocker.
Yeah. Is it going to rain?
Yeah, not death and destruction forecasting.
Yeah.
Which, unfortunately, is what it's turned into. In
I mean,
some
can you
spots.
imagine if we,
We led every show with, "Oh my goodness, earthquake!"
Yeah.
in them, like,
or we're preparing. Just go back to Debbie. We're preparing for Debbie. I heard a story yesterday about how climate change fueled the rain from Debbie. Can you imagine if sort of those days leading up to Debbie, when we had those big rainfall forecasts, had, we said, we're potentially 16 to 20 inches of rain, and that's because of climate change and warming this and warming that and extra CO2 in the atmosphere, and this is why we need to cut down emission. What? No. Not doing it.
yeah.
Not doing it. It rains in tropical storms and hurricanes a lot. Breaking news.
And it's
Breaking
not,
news.
It's not like it broke records either, you
No.
know?
Yeah, it rained a lot. Yeah, it flooded.
Oh. So let's talk about social media.
Oh, God.
We get to communicating. We get to big media. We get to the issues that we have now. And you would think social media makes it easier. I think it makes it harder. A, what do you like about social media? Let's start with the good. Let's bring some positive into this episode. What are some things you enjoy about social media?
I love the camaraderie. I love hearing from people,
Same.
talking to people.
Same.
Love that, especially on the weather Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
Where are you at, Twitter? What's your at?
At Jamie Arnold WNBF.
Okay. And I'm at Andrew WNBF.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing.
Love Twitter.
I feel like I'm in constant communication with somebody on Twitter, or I know somebody, even if I haven't. Mitch West.
Yeah.
Gerald.
Yeah. All met through Twitter.
All met through Twitter.
All through Twitter. Yeah.
And yet I feel like whatever they're doing, I feel like it's like we're talking to them.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, how was the storm chase?
Yeah.
Or you keep up with the posts. So the reports coming in, the photos.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Weather Twitter is a fun place. There's
is
still
a
some
fun
crazies
place.
like the rest of Twitter. Twitter's, it's still like this big outlaw land where which I love about it.
Yeah.
But weather Twitter, sort of the weather community on Twitter, X, is a fun place.
It is. Facebook's good.
Yeah, love Facebook.
Past that,
Yeah. Yeah.
Jenna does TikTok because I don't know how to make one. So
Same.
She is the WMBF News TikTok basically right now, which is awesome.
Give her a follow.
Yeah, give her a follow on TikTok. I don't even know
Do
her
you follow on TikTok? Do you tic-tac? What do you...
I don't know. But just look WMBF News.
Yeah, if you're a TikToker.
Yeah, if you're a TikToker.
Yeah.
She's been doing that. And I think that's going to be the big thing now is as our audience gets older, question is like, are the younger generation, do they even care about watching?
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of what I'm worried about. How do we capitalize on that? And the other thing I'm worried about is for the viewers we do have now, making sure they're getting right information on social media.
Yeah.
Because it is a madhouse on there. Everyone's a meteorologist and then some.
Yeah.
That's the battleground that we face, and we've kind of touched on that. Anything you want to add to social media? Because I don't want to get down on a rant.
If you...
And don't even go looking for a blue check mark now.
Yeah.
Because you can just pay for that.
Yeah.
Heck, I pay for it just to have the real-time mentions in.
Yeah.
And TweetDeck, which is amazing for us. But
if I post something weather-related on my chief meteorologist Facebook page, and you respond to me with, who cares?
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah.
How miserable is your life? And how miserable are you?
We got some good clips.
That you have to just comment something so stupid on a page about weather.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's 2 or 3 of them who do it regularly.
I know one you were talking about.
Yeah. And I come back now. If it's on my page, and sometimes even if it's on the weather page, our main page.
Which I love.
Yeah. If you're going to come after me on my page, I'm coming back. Boss is like, oh, just don't worry about it. No. No.
And you can still respond and not be a jerk.
Yeah, I'm not a jerk.
No.
Most of the time.
It honestly shows that, I personally think if you respond to comments, people enjoy it.
They do.
Like, oh my God, Jamie responded.
Yeah, we're engaging with our audience, which is the whole point of social media. Now, if you start acting real dumb, I'm just going to block.
Yeah.
Done. I have no problem.
It's bad that now when it comes to posting on Facebook, there's some things I'm like, should I even post it? Because I know the comments that are gonna that it's gonna get. You know?
Yeah.
Or who cares? Why do we?
Yeah.
Oh well, I'm sure it's gonna be another bus like last. Like,
yeah.
really?
So funny.
So
original.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else on social media.
Now, what I do stay away from are the comments on our news Facebook page.
Same.
That's talk about the Wild West.
Well, and I feel like we're outnumbered there because I went in on someone 2 years ago and I haven't done it since. Because then everybody just starts chirping in when they see that you've engaged. So yeah.
Yeah, and this actually popped up on my memories a few days ago. This was before you even got here when I ended up in the machine, the Facebook machine, over a funny joke picture I posted. We were having like a summer heat wave. And it was like a sort of a fake sign on a beach, and it said Myrtle Beach. Welcome to Myrtle Beach. Dress for the body you have, not the body you want. It's kind of funny.
I think it is funny.
We were having a heat wave. It was like the first big heat wave of the summer. And so I just slapped it on Facebook. Y'all have fun at the beach this weekend. It's going to be hot. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
And for a couple hours, it was lots of likes and laughs. And then it turned down fast. And it got into the machine. And thousands of shares. And I was getting death threat messages into my Facebook Messenger from like Pakistan and Taiwan and people I mean, just calling for me to be fired and to resign and to make a public apology.
Did management get a hold of it?
Management at the time, that night, as it was still kind of going crazy, called and we kind of laughed about it.
Right.
And then by the next morning, when literally the phone was ringing at the station from out of the country. So I did have to take it down, and I hated it.
Because that's engagement.
I hated to take it down. But yeah, it's crazy out there.
It's so easy for people to be offended, and I don't know why.
Get over it.
Like,
go take a walk.
Look, your feelings matter to anybody that's
listening. Of course.
But it's a good joke.
It's a joke.
I got in trouble for not being serious on a weather page before when we had severe weather and the storms were already gone.
Yeah.
And I just posted a joke too.
Yeah.
About what my after meal would be. Oh my goodness, can't wait to go home and eat some chicken and dumplings. People were like, "Oh my God, there's death and destruction out to our east." It's sad that you have to. Obviously, yes, you have to think about what you post. You can't just post it,
right?
But
yeah.
Remember when I got in trouble for? Well, not by management, but people got upset that I was asking Taco Bell to follow me, using my clout for a follow from Taco Bell.
Your clout.
Get out of here.
You're morning meteorologist in Myrtle Beach. Your clout.
That's what they said. Not using it for good.
What's the good?
Right? Providing a forecast? I don't know.
Oh, there's a lot in there.
Yeah. I will say I messed up. I deleted the names, and then I was trying to edit undo to get the names back, but I was like, forget it. So, no names on these, but you'll know.
Well,
Most of them are unique.
Well, are you going to read one, or are you just going to look at all of them?
Wow. He's all worked up now. Goodness. I remember putting this one. What do you think the next 5 years will look like with social media and weather? Freaking...
More of the same.
I think maybe worse.
Yeah, probably. Probably so. Definitely more of the same.
You'll probably have to see more of us. I feel like as the noise gets louder, we have to get louder.
Yeah.
Which I don't say that in like a bad way. I love posting on social media, but I don't also want it to feel like a job.
Yeah.
Like if it's sunny and 75, you're not going to get much from me.
No.
Enjoy the day.
Enjoy, yeah.
If I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah, go outside and play, you know?
Be careful with your words, Jamie. Yeah, I don't know. So, more of the same. As if you're curious on whoever asked that, I don't think platforms are going to change. I don't see them changing, but I could be wrong.
No.
Threads may come back.
I doubt it. I doubt it.
I think it's still going to be X and Facebook.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And Instagram, which I don't do.
Yeah, I used to do it more, but then I was like, this is just a lot of weather posts on my personal stuff.
It is. And I don't have a weather Instagram page. I just have like my Instagram page, and I kind of like that. I want that. That's my house.
Yeah. I'll share like a reel of something like this podcast, but that's it.
Yeah, that's my house.
Same.
You know?
And it's also nice not to have to post to it.
Yeah.
Like it's one less thing we have to worry about.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't expect too much change other than the craziness.
Yeah. When are we done with the heat for good?
I do remember this. This was Rosalind.
Yeah. It's always hard to say. It looks like for the next 2 weeks, we're actually looking pretty good.
I really do believe so.
But we can still get a spike up into the low 90s.
Yeah.
If everything lines up through October. Happens almost yearly. That will, and you can get some really nasty humidity in here late September into first half of October.
Especially depending on what the setup, if you have a nearby low pressure somewhere too.
Oh,
Game on.
It can
even
get
like a second
steamy.
severe weather season. That could really set up.
Yeah.
as long as it's cool for October 31st for Halloween.
I love that. Yeah. I think the worst of it is behind us.
I think so too.
Just because, we're cool for 2 weeks now, cool, a little below normal for the next 2 weeks or so. And then by that point, we're into the back half of September. Fronts start to get a little more frequent. So the worst is behind us, but we still have some heat and humidity to go.
Yeah.
I
don't think, Rosalind, that you're going to see prolonged heat and humidity anymore.
Yeah.
I feel
we'll get a couple
comfortable in saying
days.
that.
We'll get a couple days.
But then there'll be a front or some cool down
Yeah.
that's coming in. There's enough systems now to where that's past us.
Cold fronts are making a comeback.
Yeah, for sure. This one was from Amber. These are the only two I remember. Any idea of where and when the season 3 finale will be? I don't know.
No.
No to both.
I know.
I
And
would
now-
like to
and now the
wrap
thing
it
is,
up
Yeah.
eventually, like obviously before the holidays.
Yeah.
But now, if it's quiet,
I know.
I kind of enjoy it.
I love doing this.
I mean, the early mornings for you suck.
Well,
For
it's all
people
right.
that don't know, we record
Yeah.
these super early, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. We're still throwing around the wine design cocktail
I
art
like that. I like
class.
I also think we need to bring back a guest.
I do too.
I don't know who.
I don't either.
Like, do we bring back someone that's been on, or do we bring in, like, someone that hasn't been on? I don't know.
Let's ask. Let's ask.
Don't look
Who
at
do you
Jenna.
want?
Yeah, who do you want to see on?
No,
Are you
not
serious?
Jenna. You've done enough.
Jenna, you've been on the past 2 weeks, okay?
Who do we? We're doing a podcast. Yeah. So let's ask. Who do you want to see?
How about this? Is there who would be the new guest you want to see?
Yeah.
And then who is a returning
I like it.
guest that
like
you
it.
would want to see? Why not?
Yeah.
And then I'll clip this or have Jenna clip it, and then we'll post it, and then we'll put 2 guests on.
Yeah. I love how you said we'll have Jenna clip it because
Yeah.
we don't do the editing stuff.
Shout out to our team. I think you're
yeah.
up. Also, Marks is still in here, but
We kind of did that.
what was this?
What do we enjoy about social media?
Oh yeah.
What does preparation for an episode of Are You Cirrus look like? Is the podcast enjoyable for you all? Who's that from?
I don't remember. I know there was one named David, but I don't know if that was his or not.
Preparation looks like Andrew and I texting each other
I was about to-
on a Sunday afternoon.
Let me read it. Here's your prep.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's not a lot of preparation.
I don't know what you're feeling, but I like the idea of social media for this week's podcast. I also like communicating the forecast. Jamie responds not even a minute later. Works for me. Here we are.
There we are. And that's show prep.
So, and then occasionally, like, I'll write down just something. Otherwise, my mind will blank.
Yeah.
Like, if we're talking about graphics or something, it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
But if I'm like, social media, what do we...
Yeah.
So I had to write down, like, bullet points.
Yeah. This morning while having coffee, I popped in a couple of places just to kind of see,
Yeah.
what was going on, through Colorado State, and
Yeah.
just kind of ran through some of those. And otherwise, that's it.
Honestly,
You do a lot more show prep than I do.
This is more prep than...
Yeah.
Which we are running lower on questions. I
Yeah,
think we
I
got
think
like
that-
4 left.
Yeah.
So
Get them in.
that's honestly probably more prep than the episode itself.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add? Happy September to everyone who celebrates. Mm-hmm. If you don't, sorry. Trying to think.
What are we doing next week?
I don't know.
We'll show prep Sunday. I'll wait for your Sunday text.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Tell us.
Real quick before we go, let's have fun here since fall's coming, or it
Yes.
feels like fall. We're going to, and football season.
Mm,
What
okay.
better, okay?
Okay.
We're going to call this the fall draft.
Okay.
Your favorite 3 things you love about fall. Here's the kicker. You'll go first.
Okay.
I can't take whatever you say.
Okay.
Then I'll go. We'll
Okay.
pick 3 things, and then we'll line up to see who has the better team. The better fall-like team. All right. I'll let you go first.
So I'm just listing 3 things I like about fall.
One at a time, though. You're going to do one, then I want to do one. Because I might steal one of your favorite things, and then you have to think of something new.
Hurricanes.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
pumpkin spice flavoring.
Crisp mornings.
Dang it, that was my next one. Yours is good.
Okay.
Vest or jackets, like having to put something on.
I didn't
That's
think
a
of
good
that,
number 2.
But you know I do love my vest.
Me too.
Oh, I love my
I
vest.
can't wait.
I know.
I am going to not enter, but give a vest alert to our first vest morning. Maybe we could get some cutouts of us in vest.
What's the threshold for vest mornings?
So I kind of
50?
I kind of think the beaches need to be at least low 60s, but if we could be in the
that's too
50s.
warm.
See, I think so too.
It's got to be 50s.
I think upper 50s for the beaches is vest alert.
I think even that's too warm.
Mid 50s.
55.
55 at the beach is a vest alert.
Yeah.
Maybe we brand that for the winter. It's always going to be 55, but for the
like
fall.
it. Yeah.
Hey, we're giving the vest alert instead of first alert. The vest alert. And then like a pop-up of you with a vest. Anyways, that's my number 2.
Both of us with the vests.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Vest
Yeah.
alert. That'd be fun. We'll get some
like
photos
it.
taken.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then they can make a cutout for us. All right, number 3. So
Oh,
far,
man, I
your
just
list
had
is
it.
great.
I just had it and it was so good.
Ooh, I got mine.
Haunted houses.
No, yeah, you can have that one. You can have that one. I was gonna say like spooky season, but I'm not. I'm gonna go the fall color.
Oh, you mean around here, brown?
Way to ruin my pick. I'm gonna go fall color.
Yeah.
The fall foliage.
Well, being from Kentucky,
Oh my
fall foliage
goodness,
was
it's
a thing.
magical. Yeah.
It's not a thing here.
I still think I like your team better, but
Yeah.
I thought about doing like candied apples or whatever, but I was like, that's too specific. Yours is good. Hurricanes, cool mornings,
Cool mornings.
haunted houses.
Haunted houses.
That's
I love a haunted
that's
house.
a
I
tough
will
team.
scream like a little girl in a haunted house and love every second of it.
Dang. Pumpkin spice. I don't even know my second one.
I don't either. Vest.
Vest season or jacket season. And then fall foliage.
Yeah.
I think you win.
I love those mornings where it starts to get consistently cool. Usually around here, it's like way at the end of fall where I refuse to turn on the heat.
Oh.
And the house
And
has
you
that
wake up.
chill
Oh,
in the morning.
yeah, that's good.
Oh, and I put on my big robe.
And you crave the first sip of coffee.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Sleep with the windows open, and boy, that chill gets in the house.
Yeah.
I love it. There's nothing better.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Also, depending on the vest I wear, it depends on how cool it is. Like you have some of those thick vests, or like I have one that has
Yeah.
flannel on the inside. Oh.
My perfect fall day. Perfect fall day.
Morning temperature?
No, let me finish.
Oh, okay.
A day that is perfect enough temperature-wise where you can wear shorts and a sweatshirt. There's something about that.
Yeah, that's good.
Where it's just warm enough for shorts, but just cool enough that you're like, let me put on a sweatshirt.
Yeah. My perfect fall day is similar. I like it cold enough to where you can see your breath briefly, not a ton.
Oh, yeah.
But then you can also be outside in the afternoon, t-shirt and shorts.
Yeah. And feel the sun, but not.
Yeah, but not
Get hot.
burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
be like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then you're outside, it's like you're raking leaves and you're not sweating.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, happy fall to those who celebrate.
Yeah. We celebrate.
We hardcore.
We
Maybe
celebrate.
next week we can have some candles and all that.
Oh,
Some
we should
fall-
do it.
some
We should
fall
do a little
decor.
fall decor, a little couple of pumpkins.
I do think next week we're going to start a series to where we try out one fall flavored item all the way through fall.
Oh,
Yeah, like a new pumpkin flavor cookie or something. We'll bring something in. So
that's fun. Next week's topic.
next week we'll start
fall.
Okay, cool.
Fall, y'all.
Fall, y'all. We'll see you next week for episode 58.
Fall is